You ready for the Bills?
I think obviously the coaches do a really good job of getting us focused in that game's over. We get 24 hours to think about that game and then move on to the Bills because obviously people want to talk about the Bills lately, but they're a good football team and they have a good defense. So in this league, it's never easy. So you got to make sure you're focused and you're locked in because anybody can beat anybody in this league. Yeah, it just depends. It depends on what happens through the game as far as nicks and bruises and things like that. I think you're definitely a little bit more exhausted after the game and a little more tired, but that's okay as long as there's not more bruises and things that you got to try to recover from. So it just kind of depends on the hits you take and things like that.
Now your focus is only on Buffalo, obviously, but knowing that there are going to be two games in 5 days, do you do anything during this week as far as resting and just doing anything different than you would from your ordinary routine from Sunday to Sunday?
No, not this week. No, because every week you're trying to get as much recovery as possible and as much sleep and rest as possible. So this week nothing will change. Next week, obviously, things are going to happen so fast that you're going to have to change some routine and try to get a lot of things done right after the game. But like you said, we're so focused on Buffalo right now. We'll worry about that as soon as the game's over. Well, he's a really good guy. I mean, from the first couple minutes he was here, he introduced himself. Just a really good guy. And then you go see him out at practice and making some plays and running some routes, and you can see the guy has a lot of talent. And you kind of wondering why they let him go because he can run. He's fast. He's quick. He's explosive, and he's got good hands. So we're excited to have him here.
Has he talked up his bowling game yet, or have you heard about how good of a bowler he is?
I haven't heard that, but I'll have to ask him about it now.
He's like semi-pro already.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm not bowling with him.
Adam, on a team like Buffalo is 0-2. Does the desperation of them not wanting to drop the 0-3 away, does that make them a more dangerous team?
Yeah, for sure. And I think there's a lot of things that make that a dangerous team. I think, like you said, their back's against the wall a little bit. They've had some adversity, and usually teams kind of gain ground from adversity and kind of stick together, come together, and fight, more than they've ever fought. And then we have a target on our back as we do every week. We hear the media too. So we got to do a good job this week, making sure that we're focusing on our jobs and making sure we're getting better. And like I said before, there's no game in this, there's no team in this league that's an easy win. It's every game is going to be difficult. It doesn't matter the records; they're all professional football players. So we're going to have our work cut out for us, and we have to go out and play good football.
Adam, what's that like having a target on your back every week?
Well, I think it pushes you. It pushes you through practice to make sure that you're grinding and getting better. You can never be satisfied in this league. Doesn't matter how well you do in the past. You're only as good as your last game. So you have to make sure that you're continuing to get better. And some of the things that you feel like you could have done better weeks past, you got to make sure you're continuing to gain ground on that and trying to continue to gain confidence in your quarterback and coordinator and teammates.
What's it like to kind of hear the media saying those things about Buffalo and hearing that you're a 16.5-point favorite coming in? How do you deal with some of that stuff?
Yeah, I don't like to hear all that stuff, so I try to just avoid it. Like I said, I like to look at the tape and make sure that I'm getting prepared individually. I mean, it doesn't matter. You got to make the plays. So each week is a new week. Doesn't matter. Like I said, it doesn't matter what you did in the past. Just because you had a good game the week before doesn't mean you're going to play well the next week. So you got to prepare the same way. You have to come out with the same mindset. And it's a grind. You have to just week in and week out. It's a new season. Each week is a new season.
Adam, what are your thoughts when you hear a guy retiring at halftime?
I've never heard that one before. That's for sure. It's interesting. That good. Luckily, it's not on our team, so I don't have to worry about it.
When you see a team that has an aggressive front seven like Buffalo does, how does that affect the receivers, if at all?
Well, I mean, obviously, we got to just do our own job and not really worry about that. But at the same time, we got to get open. We got to get open quicker. We can't be taking a long time on our routes, and we got to stay within the system. Because when teams have good pass rushes, it just means the ball's got to come out a little quicker. And like I said, it means that we got to get open and within the system and not trying to do too much.
Sometimes guys talk about the jump. It's a big jump from week 1 to week 2 offensively.
Yeah, I think so. I think offensive line played outstanding. I think we just started. I think every week you just kind of build confidence. With the quarterback and the offense coordinator as well. You kind of figure out what he likes to do, and then you just get more comfortable within the system. So we have to continue to build. I think we can take some things that we did last week into this week and try to get better at the things that we didn't do well, because there was a lot of things that personally didn't do well and things we didn't do well as an offense. So that's what's so great about this league. You get another opportunity to prove that you're better than you were last week. Well, anytime you add a playmaker, it's going to be beneficial to your offense. I mean, the more weapons you can have on the field, the more guys that threaten the defense with speed and can run routes and things like that. It can only help. So, like I said, we're excited to have him here, and I think he's gonna help this offense. That's a great question. I don't really know. For me, it's every week it's a new week. You just kind of figure out where you're going to line up. You figure out the different plays that they got in and for that week, and then you just go from there. You don't really think about where you're lining up. You don't think about any of that. You just whatever the play is called, you run it. That's what's so great about playing receiver. You don't have to really think much. You just wherever they tell you to line up, you line up and go play ball.